It's so good to see everyone. There's Brianne. Hi. Okay, I'm going to mute everyone just for now, but this is going to be like an interactive call. So, well, if you want it to be interactive, like you don't have to. I'm not going to like, maybe I'll call people out. No, not really. But first, I did want to actually start with sharing wins. Does anyone have a win or something this week that spoke to them, or something you read in your personal development? Just anything that you would like to share and start us off.
I'll share.
Yay.
I walked away from a car accident with only a few bangs, and it actually reignited my passion for coaching because it just made me feel so grateful to be alive and healthy, and the fact that I could just bounce back and get back into my routine just made me realize how much coaching has really helped me, just mindset wise and everything. Because if this was old me, I would have been in like a whole anxiety spiral. But no, I'm just so happy and so blessed, and happy to be on this call.
I'm so happy too. When I saw it, I was like, what? I was like, I was so grateful too. I mean, in your car, like it looks like it could have been a lot worse. So yes, you are so grateful. Angels were there for sure with you. After Lily's traumatic incident, I firmly believe in angels and guardian angels and people watching over us. So grateful. Anyone else have anything they want to share or talk about?
Hi, I'm Ajre.
Hi.
I cleaned out my garage, and it's kind of, I can park my car in there, so that was a big deal.
Yay! That is a huge deal.
So it's my first time in my life being able to park in my garage. So
yeah. Awesome. And is this your first team call?
This is my first team call too. Yes.
So. Welcome.
Thank you.
So excited for you. I think this is also Amanda's first team call as well, who's down there too. So yay, that's exciting. I see you.
Hi.
Hi. So fun. You're able to get off work. Okay, so we're going to get started. I wanted to just shout out the top coaches of the week, Brittany, myself, Talia, Gabby, and Ashley. So proud of you. This is just a reflection on changing lives consistently every week, but not just with the full starter pack, but also consistently with like Energizer, collagen, things like that, and just helping people start their journey. And just one second. This is ridiculous.
Whoa, Brittany at SC30, just gotta say that.
I was seriously so happy when I saw Emma's post in the page this morning. So happy for her.
I know. I'm just like, she's slaying it. I like serious goals there.
Oh yeah, okay. And I didn't even include it. Brittany Powers. I should have included the graphic 12-star. So they're also going to be 13-star next week too, and then in 2 more weeks they'll be 14-star. And I was just on a Zoom with them, and they should be in 15-star qualification. Because the thing about that and the value of that is when they're in a qualification together, then they don't have to be in qualification for like 15 weeks total, if that makes sense. So then they're able to just, do it. So that's super exciting. Sorry, I'm going to have Lily on this call with me. I don't really know what's going on with her. So she woke up super just like clingy. But I'm so proud of everyone that is already changed their lives. I know Talia has been working really hard towards this as well. It's her first month hitting Success Club, so that's really exciting. And here are the top volume leaders on the rise. So proud of everyone, and I don't know why Brittany Powers stayed 9-star. That was my mistake for not catching that. I do have someone that helps me with these. I will say delegation is a great thing to do. And then our calendar, but I wanted to actually just talk about this really quickly. So I had mentioned with some girls about doing a flash sale, back to school flash sale, and I was thinking about doing it Saturday to Monday. So whoever wants to help, just let me know and we can just post the graphics. I had found some in the Boss Babes group, so we can recreate them or we can just use those. It doesn't matter. But this would be a way to help use the promo codes up and just helping people, yeah. So, okay, here we go. Cultivating habits in a season of transition. Y'all, we're all in a season of transition. I don't know about you, but it has seemed like a season of transition for me, and it's going to happen. I actually read a book what are you doing?
Sorry, I love you.
Sorry. Thank you. Can you just go put her in her room? Okay. Yeah, we're doing this. Okay. No, so I read this book, and this is where I got the idea. It's actually called Cultivate, and it's by Laura Casey. We've actually been talking about doing a book club, and this does have some religious references, but if you can get past that, if that's not something that you believe in, then this would be a great book for us to do maybe this next month if you're open to doing a different book. This is something I read when I was in a mom's group actually with my church, and it really spoke to me because it's talking about a grace-filled guide to growing an intentional life. And at that time, I was going through a lot of transitions. I was at the beginning of a divorce. I was at the beginning of being a single mom of 2 to a baby. And this is something that really just helped me realize that I could still have an intentional life while doing all the things that I wanted to do. And so I have points that I'm just going to kind of elaborate on. That actually, one sec, I have these notes up on my computer and I need to be able to see them. You can't see the other screen, right? If I put it up, you can still see the slides, correct? Okay. It's just not presented, but you can see them. Okay. Okay, so I want to start with number 1. So number 1 is reframing the narrative. So often when we get into seasons and things like that, we can say things like, oh, I'm moving to a new city and I have to start all over, versus I have an opportunity to start fresh and create new habits. So when you're in a season of transition and things like that, how are you framing the narrative behind what's happening? So it could be anything. And this can be faced when you're feeling overwhelmed. So if there's something in your life right now where you're feeling that overwhelm, maybe start by identifying where that overwhelm is coming from, and then how every day you can wake up and reframe it so you can make it more of a positive narrative for what's going to benefit you. Number 2 is give yourself the gift of starting fresh. So this actually has like a workbook. I'm so happy to see everyone. I feel like this is so great. So number 2 is really knowing that you can flip back to the page in your life and know that you can jot down these ideas of what's going to help you with specific transitions. So what are these things you are going to not do in the transition that you usually would? And I'm curious in the chat box, like when you're going through a transition, what helps you? Is there something in your life that helps you kind of navigate transitional, and I'm curious, who all is transitioning into school right now? Who all has school-aged kids that are transitioning into that? So again, we're all going to be going through different seasons and transitions, but it's how you approach these things. Number 3, daily deposit. Who in here knows what the daily deposit is? Most of you. Okay. I'm going to include the PDF so you all can print it out if it's not something that you have, which is totally fine. And I don't know why I don't have it in here. But you probably have seen a lot of us share it. And it's the 3 things you're thankful for, your personal growth that day, your game day list, your affirmations, and then if you win or lose the day. You don't have to do the daily deposit every single day. Now, the difference between the daily deposit and a daily journal is that a daily deposit is you're literally making daily deposits to your life bank, to your life toolbox, your personal development toolbox. And the thing I love about this is when my kids are of age to be able to understand what personal growth is and things like that, they are going to be able to look back at what I have written in my daily deposit and every single day, like what I've taken away from it. And they're going to be able to know what was in my brain. They were going to be able to know what in January I was working on. They can see that growth too. And I know, and I don't know if you ever think of this, but I just always kind of think of how I can also incorporate it into my kids' life as well. And then number 4 is set goals to prepare for your transition. So when you know a transition is coming up, so say you get engaged and so you're planning a wedding, or you are going on vacation and you want to prep for that transition, and then the transition when you come home, or starting school, and maybe you're starting school, whatever that transition looks like for you, making sure that you're incorporating that into setting your goal setting. So whatever your goals are for the month, I'm always thinking ahead, like 1 to 2 months. And I'll kind of get into that in number 5. And that is lean on your quarterly refreshes. If you're new here, you may not know this, but I talk about this 3-month reset so often. So right now, I want you to put into your phones, set an alarm for 3 months, okay, 90 days. And you're going to write in there, reevaluate the season that I'm in. And what that means for you is, so life happens and we forget when these 3 months marks are. And so that's going to be an alarm for you to be like, oh, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't know why. And that moment, then you can say, oh my gosh, I was in such a different season 3 months ago. No wonder I'm feeling this way. And it really helps you not feel kind of like crazy in your head. You know, we've all kind of felt that way sometimes when you're like, why am I feeling this way? And then you're like, oh, because X, Y, and Z is happening. That makes sense. Of course I'm feeling this way. So it really helps you just give yourself grace, which I'm also going to be talking about in a little bit. So that's number 5, is lean on your quarterly refreshes and share them with us. I'm going to share a little bit about community at the end, and then I want to open it at the end for open discussion for about 10 to 15 minutes for anyone to share what helps them in transitions, or if there's anything that has really helped you in a season of life. I would love to know. So maybe start thinking about that if it's something that you want to share with us as well. Number 6 is use your weekly and daily goals to anchor yourself in the midst of change. So one thing that really helps and can help you is if you're in this season change and 5 things seems like a lot, what's your one thing? What's that one thing in your day that you're going to wake up and that fuels you, that makes you excited? Maybe that's not even your workout. Maybe that's your personal development that day, that podcast that you really love listening to, or going on a walk with your family. Like, what's going to bring you joy? Because when you fill yourself up with that joy, that's going to help you want to do other things that maybe aren't things you want to do. But remember, we have to do hard things to be able to do things in life. Like, nothing worth having comes easy. And so there are things we have to do every day where maybe we don't feel like doing it, but we know it's going to make us feel better in the end. So having that really helps you kind of just kickstart yourself. Another great book beyond Cultivate is The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. She talks more about the brain and how the brain works, and how our brain actually has 5 seconds before it starts to think about what we're thinking about. That makes sense. So if you're like laying in bed and you start thinking about working out, it takes 5 seconds. So if you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she talks about that. So it's another great book to talk more about your brain and how that works, because everything's connected. Number 7, make gentleness a goal. So these are affirmations. And I actually got inspiration, not just from this book, but from an article I found. And I was thinking about this. And so often I think with affirmations, we say things like, I am, a kind friend, or whatever your affirmation is for that day. Like, I am a leader of leaders, things like that. What are affirmations or things you want to work on? So actually your affirmations should be things you want to work on. So for a long time, I wanted to work on being better at being on time. Not going to lie, still have a problem with it, But it's something I really wanted to work on because I used to be really good at it when I didn't have kids. And now that I have 3 kids, it's just, even when I have 1. But it's not an excuse. I want to work on it. It's something I want to work on. So I would write down, like, I am someone that's on time, or I'm not a procrastinator. Like things like that are going to help you and have that in the forefront of your mind, because when you do that, then when you go to do the action you're trying to avoid, you think back about what you had just written down. So instead of doing just affirmations of things that you like love or like continue to want to love about yourself, do affirmations that can push you and challenge you to really make things come fruition and come to light. Number 8, focus on your mindset. This is one of our vital behaviors. If you're not doing this every day and you think it's woo-woo, wah-wah, that's fine, but it's really hard in anything in life to not focus on your mindset. So I would hope beyond Beachbody and being a part of this community that you would find value in taking care of your mindset, because this is, and your gut health is connected to your mind, which is why Shakeology is so valuable for us, right? Is because we're taking care of our gut, which helps us be able to want and take care of our mind and pour it into every other aspect of our life. So knowing that the reason why we have vital behaviors in, our business and things like that is really just to help you feel your best, which helps you overflow and pour into others. Number 9, add goals back in gradually. Like I said, if 5 things like on the daily deposit is too many things on your game day list, and 1 or 2 is what works best for you in that season or that week, maybe it's not even a season, maybe it's not even 90 days, maybe it's just a week that you need to just do 1 or 2 things, then just gradually add things back into your goals. Don't feel like it has to happen all at once, or you're going to be shamed if you don't do that. We're not here to shame. We're here to support and uplift. And we want to be the community that helps when people are in seasons. This community kept me alive in the hardest seasons of my life. And I know there's other coaches on here that can say the same. And we're going to continue to do that and show up for other people that are a part of our community. So you showing up on your stories and in your challenge groups and all that every single day may be hard some days or may feel tiring, but you're helping so many other people not feel tired anymore and have more energy to run around with their kids and feel a way they never even thought they could feel, right? Because I know that we've all felt a way we've never thought we would feel either. Okay, number 10, don't forget to celebrate along the way with us, okay? Daily gratitude and thankfulness is so important alongside affirmations. This is something that you should start your day with every day, even if you don't get your workout in first thing. Wake up, write down those 3 things. What are you thankful for, or what are you grateful for? And, don't just say things. I mean, you can decide what you want to do, but I want to encourage you to get in depth of what you're grateful for and thankful for. It's okay, just to grow slow, and what you're saying you're thankful for and grateful for too in those papers, you can save those for your kids and things like that. I think it's really, I do this with my kids as well. My son is 8, and there actually is a 5-minute journal for kids. So I used to do the 5-minute journal. Now I use my daily deposit, but I have one for him, and he can write now and he can read. And I found it, I was like, oh my gosh, you can do this. And so we have it out now, and it's for them as well, for kids to start doing that, for practicing their affirmations. It's so valuable to be able to trickle it down into our kids, especially if you're doing school at home. Affirmations and that gratitude and thankfulness is going to be so important for kids to stay mentally okay. Because let's be honest, that's one of the big things that's been happening right now that we need to focus on and we can help with. And most of all, like I said, give yourself grace. I actually have tattooed on my arm, Saved by Grace. I got it tattooed after my divorce, and it's my daughter's middle name is Grace. And so over the last 3 or 4 years, just always give yourself grace. If you're going to win or lose your day, you're moving yourself forward. Failing forward is valuable. My son actually used to be really hard on himself and couldn't fail. Like he would beat himself up. And I was actually just at my friend's house the other day, and her husband were like, we are so impressed by how much more calm Bentley is and things like that. And that's truly because I've really worked on him knowing that he can fail forward, and that's him learning, and it's a positive thing. So I think, again, it's all about this perspective and how you perceive. And I know this was kind of for us, but I think a lot of us can help our families in this way right now too. So I hope this was valuable. I wanted to read something really quick. It says, cultivators embrace awkward and grow in community. And I wanted to read an excerpt from this because she's talking about comparison. And it says, comparison kills community. Comparison is the greatest killer of togetherness. I struggle with this. Just today, I caught myself thinking, she's doing it better than I am. But you know what? She should be, because she's doing her it, and I need to focus on doing mine. We each have been given a unique assignment on this earth, a garden plot, all our own. And our own garden plots were intentionally put in the same community garden, not isolated or alone. Our lives together tell a bigger story than we can see. We were created for community. We were created to cultivate together and share the harvest with others. We believe a lot of lies, don't we? Here we are, just a few examples. I'm not as blank as she is. I don't have what she has. I don't have it all together. I don't look like her. I'm not as organized. I'm not as talented. I'm not a superwoman. How does she do it all? She's more spiritually advanced than I am. She's younger than I am and is doing more. I'm not as outgoing. She's already doing my idea. I'm not as important, so on and so on. How exactly did we come to these false conclusions? What led us to believe these lies in the first place? Think about it and try to notice the root of the comparison weed the next time it crops up. Perhaps it was a social media post, a television show, an advertisement or magazine cover that told you that you must have something or be someone in order to be loved, beautiful, healthy, smart, organized, or valuable. In our world, it is hard to guard our hearts from all these unhealthy influences. We can't live in a bubble, but we can fill our souls with truth to combat the lies then when they crop up. If we saturate our hearts with comparison, we are feeding ourselves poison. Perfection is a man-made chemical that can kill intentional living from the roots up. Let's trade comparison for cultivating together. And then she goes on to say, cultivate community. And I truly believe that this is what our community stands for. And when I read this, I was like choking up. But she says, don't wait for community to show up at your door. Be the invitation. You guys, people can't go places right now. People aren't inviting people over. You realize that, right? We get to be that invitation for someone to. I was just on Brittany's cheersing for her 12-star. And one of her diamonds just said, my husband is military. And when we moved out here, I know no one. She's like, I know the lady down the street. I know her, but she's really sick. So all we do is text. If it weren't for this community, she was like, I would be in the cuckoo house. And she's like, and I don't even want to think about that. And we have the invitation. Like, we get to invite people to this community to just be like, we want to help in any way. We're here. Ask someone to come over, even if your house is a mess. I don't know about you, but I feel so relieved when I go to someone's house that is perfectly imperfect like mine, right? Community and connection to God's heart and the reward of inviting people over, not what people think of us. Fruitful friendships are worth embracing awkward for. Fruitful friendships allow us to celebrate our imperfections together. Fruitful friendships overlook your broken fence and admires your garden. Fruitful friendships point us to God's heart. Fruitful friendships is possible. Cultivators embrace awkward and grow in community. And so I wanted to just leave us with that. I don't know if that resonated with anyone, but if anyone is open and wanting to be a part of a book club this next month in our growth mindset homeroom, this is what I'm going to be focusing on. And yeah, so I'm going to stop my share. If anyone has questions or wants to share anything or how they, and before anyone else hops off, I want to take a picture. I also see the chat. I'm not in the chat. Okay. If not, that's okay too. But I feel
like I need these slides just because I want to review them. Like, I feel like they were just really good, like bullet points and little nuggets of wisdom that I would love to like look over and share with my team too.
I'll send them. And I just included the blog where I found this from, because I was just kind of looking to see if anything from her would pop up, but I found this and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I kind of tweaked some, so I'll send you the I'll send you the slides too. I can actually put it in right here too. Oh, you're muted.
It was so good. I really needed this today.
Hey,
I was talking.
I needed it too, to be honest. So, and I know like Talia and Crystal and I, we've been talking about it.
And seriously, hats off to all you mamas and homeschooling mamas, because I'm homeschooling my nephew like 1 day a week, and I'm just like, how are they doing this? Like, so hats off to you guys, seriously.
I know, right? I actually want to share when I've shared with some, but I found a Montessori program for Ashton, and she's going to be going 4 days a week now, and I'm so freaking excited to have her going, and I won't have to nag at her to stay out of Bentley's way while he's doing his schoolwork, and she can have her. I went and dropped the paperwork off today, and yeah, I'm just super thankful that it worked out. So
Yeah, I'm so happy that worked out for you.
too, like all within like last night. It's crazy. It's a crazy day. Anyone else? Talia, you want to share something?
Yeah, I just have to say, when you and I and Bree got on the phone, I think for me, like, that helped me I typed in the chat box, but you were talking about like what helps you with transitions. And I don't know if this is a girl thing, it probably is, or if it's just me, but I always feel better when I can actually physically talk it through with somebody, because when you don't, the narrative is usually the same. Like, it's just the frustrations, it's like the negative all the time. But when you can speak it out to people and like you start working through it yourself, and then you can, at least for me, like, I know one thing I learned when I was in health coaching school before I even joined Beachbody, one of the things they said was like, obviously asking just these open-ended questions for people. And they're like, your job, honestly, you don't even have to do much, because if you're asking the right questions, they will talk to you, share, and then they'll actually figure it out in their own head, like by talking to you. So I was like, that's kind of cool. So really, we don't do much work. Like, we're not the ones talking a lot. They will figure it out. And I feel like it's the same way with me. Like, anytime I'm going through some kind of like hard transition, like right now, it was just nice to kind of like talk and share and, just get things out. Because like, I remember before we got on the call, I felt really heavy and like anxious. I actually woke up that morning very anxious. Like, I felt like I was going to have an anxiety attack that day. And after I got off the phone with you guys, I was like, I'm good. I can handle this. And today, I wake up today, and I don't know what came over me, but I was all kinds of patient and just real chill, almost like I had smoked something. I'm like, man, I feel good. Like, what just happened? Like, so it was just nice. Like, I feel like sometimes we need that, and it's nice to have that community where you can just like talk to people. There's no judgment on like where you're at in your life and, what you are going through. It's just an opportunity to like connect and encourage each other. So I don't know. That was big for me.
Yeah, I loved that too. We got on for a power hour, and it ended up being the best power hour, as in just catching up and talking. And that's what we're here. We're a team. We work together, but we also are here for one another. And if, for those of you who don't know, Talia is due in like 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's baby number 2 is due soon. So she's definitely going through a transition right now, and crushing it. I mean, you wake up, you show up, you are so inspiring. And I can't remember. I think I was telling either Sydney or Brittany. I was like, man, once Talia is not pregnant, I just know you're just like ready. You're like,
yes, get it moving here. Yeah, it's definitely been a challenging season for sure. I was kind of thinking about that today, and I was like, you know, now we're getting down to the wire. So now this new baby's gonna come, and it's gonna be like a whole new season transition. But I'm gonna look back on it at a point and be like, okay, I'm now a whole different person. Like, you think sometimes, like, there's no way I can handle this. Like, I hate doing this. I just can't do it. And then you come through it and you're just like, okay, I did do it. I'm not the same person. I'm actually a lot stronger than I was, or at least what I thought, you know? So I know it's for good. It's just sometimes it's hard to get through.
Yes. And we'll help reevaluate when. So I hope everyone put in their calendar or their alarm for 3 months or calendar to reevaluate the season. And when you reevaluate your season, just brain dump. Kind of brain dump what's going on in your life, and then you can kind of categorize what's working, what's not working, if things stay the same, if things need to transition or change. Because there could be, this is another thing with this book that she mentions, is how gardeners and farmers can't have 2 seasons back to back. Like, they can't have 2 springs back to back because there's no way they'd be able to keep up. And so that's why there's 4 seasons. And if we look at our life in that way too, there may be seasons that seem slower, but that's actually doing good for our springs and our harvesting seasons. So I know I like literally keep watching her. I'm like, she's so freaking cute.
I loved that when Catherine was talking about that in needle movers too. It's so true.
Yeah, how are you feeling, Crystal? Or with like needle movers, has there anything that's been like, is anything that she said about like cultivating seasons something that stood out to you?
All of it.
Great.
There's so many good nuggets in there. I seriously I like want to rewatch it over and over again, because even when I'm watching it, I have to go back and re-listen to the same thing again. I'm like, this takes me forever. All of it, like exactly what you said. And then also just like how you reap what you sow, and and we all have like heard that saying, right? But like, you reap what you sow, but it's not, I don't know, it's not always immediate. But it just really comes from like falling in love with your, how does she say it? Falling in love with your cause. Is that what she says? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she says falling in love with your cause. I don't know. The whole thing is just so great. I can't even like think of one thing on the spot. I have like pages and pages and pages of notes that I need to like reread and redissect.
I actually had a one-on-one with Kat today.
I saw that on your story and I was so jealous.
She's so sweet. She called me on her, like, we've been talking about it, and she's like, you can reach out to me whenever, because I just am like, okay. But I want to just say something, because I was picking her brain from an outsider perspective, and I was just like, I want to know, so backstory for those of you who don't know, I invested in a training called Guide Culture 2 years ago, which helps you with speaking more confidently and having better communication skills. Talia has also invested in it as well. But there's also something called the Needle Movers that it's now closed, but it was open, and Crystal invested in it too. Anyways, Kat and I took Guide Culture at the same time, but she has grown in just her confidence and everything and so much. And she was in another network marketing business, but she's now the co-owner of Guide Culture. She loves Beachbody, like fully supports, thinks we're amazing. And that's what she said. She was like, the thing that you need to do to stand out more, not that like you're not, but more, is selling the product. It's not just saying like, this is what we have, but what's behind it. So like, what did she say? Oh, because she said the reason why she invested in Energize is because the person that she bought it from said it was liquid Adderall. And she was like, yeah, I need to focus. Yeah. And she's like, I've been in college. I had an Adderall prescription, but I knew I didn't want to do Adderall again, right? And so she was like, that's what sold me. And so if you can get behind the why, and she was like, y'all, people are not awake for 3 p.m. Zoom calls. Hey, if you need a focus pick me up for your Zoom, I have Energize. And like explaining it in that way. And so something that I want to talk more about is what we just talked about. So that's like a whole side tangent that's coming. But our call was so good today, and I just really wanted to know from an outsider perspective so I could help us just serve people better. Because I know that for a long, like I was just telling Talia, like we have been encouraged to do curiosity marketing, which I do still believe in, and I think that it's so valuable. But Talia was like, they do curiosity marketing in like a more efficient way, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, what do you say, Crystal?
Sorry, I was watching, if you don't watch her stories, like you need to just go follow her right now on Instagram, because literally she shares just
Golden nuggets every day.
things and you're like, oh, why the hell was I doing that? Or like, oh, I should really be doing X, Y, and Z. And she's just like so genuine and so authentic, and I just am obsessed with her. And
What are we talking about?
you want to be my best friend?
Like, what's her name? Like, I'm not trying to follow her.
Catherine.
I know, and I've been talking about her for like 2 years, and Crystal's like, Kate, can you like stop talking?
I'm like, I don't want to follow. I can't scroll. But she's
What's her Instagram name?
Catherine, Katheryn,
with an M.
I'm like,
and then an M, and then Schubert.
And anyways, I was watching one of her mini trainings, I think this morning. I'm not sure, but I thought of you, Talia, and I was like, remember that time you went live in the Dreamer Society page and you were talking about Energize and one of the ingredients and what that ingredient did. And I was like, yep. Anyways.
My success partner and I are actually planning on investing in October in guide culture. So like we like reviewed it together. We're like, we need this in our lives. So
Hey.
I'm really excited.
And then when you do, let me know so that I can help in any way. Like it's so fun because Talia and I have like guide culture conversations that I can't have with like everyone else normally. I know Ashley's over there like, I'm investing too, Ashley. Like,
yay!
I did just what?
Me for.
Oh,
I want it so bad. I want it so bad.
Like I want to be able to just talk about like just present it in a much more simple way where it's gonna like help people be like, yes, I need that. How do I sign up?
And I will say, like, I've invested in other trainings, but the one value about guide culture is that you have like the training, and then within 24 to 48 hours, you hop on a lab with a coach. So if you like, I have like those lab mornings sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I have my guide culture lab. It's because we're helping the students like work through and embracing the awkward. And I sent Kat this message I was like, I'm prepping for my call, and they always say in guide culture to embrace awkward. And it said at the very bottom, cultivators embrace awkward and grow in community. And I read this book before I invested in guide culture. So I feel like I was like, oh my gosh, like alignment. But it just, yeah, that's fine. That was just like my excitement. But
I wanted to piggyback off what you said, Emma, really fast. You said how we were talking about like the curiosity marketing. So guide culture, they teach you the curiosity part, but what Beachbody did was Beachbody taught us to lead with that instead of using curiosity as the way to get the attention and then to sell the right way. So that's where I think the disconnect was with a lot of people in this whole curiosity marketing thing, is that like we were all being so dang curious, but then people didn't even know what the heck we were talking about. I mean, I had so many people where I would like say, oh yeah, like my gym juice and this and that, and like they had no idea. Or I would be like curious, trying to be curious and talk about my coaching, but they didn't know like, wait, what do you do? Oh, you're a coach, but I don't know, like you're not, I don't know if you're a Beachbody coach, I don't know if you're a health coach, like, you know, so they were all confused. And she's like, stop trying to lead with curiosity and lead with sales. I think the best part about the guide culture is that I was just telling Emma this today, I feel proud to be in sales, and I wasn't before. Like I was actually kind of like, okay, like, you know, I have to just do this because this is part of the gig. But now I'm like, no, like people want to be sold to, because it doesn't mean you're pushing product. It means you're guiding people to make the decisions that they need for what's best for them. And I was like, oh,
love that.
actually makes more sense.
Because people have always told me, you should be in sales. Like, people from real estate to, like, sales teams, and, like, they're always just like, do you want to be on our team? And I'm just like, no, I don't want, like, you're icky. I don't want to be on your stuff.
Right.
But, like, if we could be the source of sales where people actually feel, like, comfortable and confident doing it, then I am all for, like, helping them create that. Because I know it's changed my life, but I just want to present it in a much better way.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference is, you know. Oh, go ahead.
I had a thought today about like inviting when people are like, you just cold invite and then they want to be tacky about it. Who doesn't love getting invited to a party? Who doesn't love getting invited somewhere? Why is it bad that I want you a part of my daily, like, I'm not saying to be mean. Like, I was like thinking about it. I was like, because people are like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, they all want to sit other places, preach saying, I'm not going to cold invite you. So you're just fishing and fishing and fishing. Why not invite somebody and make them feel good about themselves? Because, yeah, some people do it in the wrong way, and that's there. But you don't have to, you know, so.
No, it's so true. I am helping one of my old friends, and again, I didn't invite her, but she was like interested. She's like, are you running September groups? Like, I want to do it. And she had invested back in the day with DVDs. So that's another thing is Beachbody has evolved. So I think that's a huge thing that people have experiences from years ago where we can give them that guided, better experience because we're different now and we've evolved and we have different, every team is different. And that's what you can also sell is our team, our community. Like that is something. She was saying how literally she's like, I haven't been able to find anything better than Shakeology. Like, she's like, I want a month of Shakeology. It's literally brilliant. She's like, I have not found anything that's better quality or taste wise. And it's true. And that's what Kat was saying is that we don't sell our products with enough
Knowledge.
Not even knowledge with and it's not even passion, but it's like she was like
confidence.
Yeah, it's kind of no, she was saying how great our products are and how valuable they are, yet we don't share it that way. It's more of like oh yeah, like you should drink superfoods versus like this stuff is so valuable for you, like you need it. Not like actually pushing them, but that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Like adding value, yeah. Like showing them the value, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We think selling is like, so do you want to try my? And it is. I think it's what you said, Evie, is like having the confidence in it. Because I watch Macy and Kat, and they sell Guide Culture, Daily Deposit, and all that stuff like crazy on their stories all the time. But they sell it in a way where they're like, okay, I need that, you know? Like they're not being pushy. They're just being like, no, you need this. Because
it's just like, think about all the other things that we sell in life. Don't we sell a restaurant that we love? Don't we sell a movie that we watched and we were just like, oh my God, you have to watch this movie? Or like, look at this show that you are binge watching for 7,000 hours right now. Because Lord knows I'm rewatching Grey's Anatomy. Like, and you know, and I will always be like, girl, have you seen season 1 through 3? But why can't we do that with Shakeology and Energize and coaching and what this has done for me? And like, seriously, that's why I'm so excited. Selling sunsets. Oh my God, that's so cool.
Well, no, and I totally agree. And when you guys do invest, like we can talk more about it. I can share as much as I can, but until you go through the training, you'll really understand. But that's another thing she said is finding that pain point and then leading with that. So, you know, it's not necessarily the Energize that you're selling. It's that pain point that Energize can help them with. And she said, because I was like, okay, so I love starting my morning with my mindset and my personal development with my Energize, right? Like I stand there and I make it. So would I keep it like, should I keep that? Or is that when I'm talking about Energize? And she's like, no, it's just like randomly during the day when you have your 3 p.m. pick me up, you're like, hey, do you want to sit through your Zoom call? Like, and she said to do reels. So if you haven't done reels, I think making a list of how you can add value within 15 seconds.
I'm obsessed with reels. I freaking, like, I don't even want to post anymore. I just want to do reels 24/7. Like 15 seconds. and add value. Like, yes, this is literally the best way to coach. 15 seconds of information.
Yeah, and so
yes.
I was like, how are you thinking of content? And she was like, I'm just going through my pictures. Is that like, and just like thinking about all the stuff that I've been adding value with and like just pulling one thing out. And so it doesn't even have to be like a lot. It can just be like one main
Like
thing.
someone literally asked me, how do I cut a mango? And I'm like, all right, let's cut this mango up.
I literally bought a watermelon today to make a meal. Well, and I wanted the watermelon, but I was like, I saw a reel on how to cut a watermelon, and I was like, I'm going to do that. That's so cool.
Emma, go watch the ICA. I don't know if you've watched them yet in Academy.
Okay.
But I just watched it, and she was showing how part of how she comes up with content. ICA is the ideal client avatar. They have like a whole thing on how to do it, and it was really cool. I like wrote it down, and she like told you a step-by-step process on kind of how to create content. She was like, "What's the pain point of your person?" And then it was really good. I hate ideal client stuff because it confuses the heck out of me. And so I watched it and I was like, that's really cool. You just have to sit down and actually think, okay, like what are the pain points that like, and she also said your ideal client is not one person, one size fits all. And I was like, that's really good to know, because you can have an ideal client for your challenge groups and you can have an ideal client for your coaches. So you have to do like both, and then you can create content to share for both avatars.
That's so true. That is so true.
Because I'm over here sitting like talking about the old me that, you know, would love a challenge group or whatever.
I don't want old me in my challenge groups. I want me right now. That actually shows up. Like, it's old me in my challenge groups. No.
Well, and that's the thing. Maybe that's your person. You know, like maybe you have someone that's like, okay, you know, my ideal client for my challenge groups is someone that's struggling with this, but she's got that like fire where she's like, once I do this, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know? So like, where's the pain point? Like maybe she struggles with just, I don't know, like not knowing where to begin. And like, that's the pain point. And you know what I'm saying? So,
oh my God. Yes. That makes so much sense. And that's like a great way to just create, like you said, content and post. And like, that's a cool reel. Be like, that's a super quick reel. You struggle to wake up every morning, bam, energized, bam.
That's what she was saying. Bam. No, that's literally what she's saying. And
I love that.
She also said too, like, off of the whole ideal client, she didn't say this, I don't think, in the training, but she said it today. She said that, you know, everyone has their own way of receiving information. So someone will like a long post, someone will like the reel, someone will like receive it in a different, or the Instagram story rant that you go on, like people will receive it in different ways. And that's what she was like, why is she calling you so valuable? Is it because someone had a kidney thing when they were younger and then it started, you know, like talking more about like Darren O'Lean and, you know, Isabel Deichler's story and why it was formulated and why it has all the testing it goes through, because, you know, they don't want it to ever go down in standards, like just things like that. Really, Ashley, I have to pick tomatoes. Really,
tomatoes.
So cute. Going to my garden. So speaking of farmer, I mean, it's, you know, I feel like
farm fresh, farm to table.
Yeah, literally farm to table, right there. It's so true. But does anyone else have anything they wanted to share? If not, I'm going to stop the recording. And I know it's almost an hour, so I want to respect everyone's time. But I'm so happy we were on tonight, and thank you for attending your first team call, making it every Thursday night at 4:30. They're always recorded, so if you can't get on, but this is a way that you can just stay in the loop more and ask questions and all that.
Always lean into these team calls, because when you skip them, you find yourself feeling like something's missing and you just aren't as passionate. And it's because you're missing team call, because this is community and it makes all the difference in the world. Like, I haven't been on because of just work stuff, and I'm just like, I miss the girls. Today I was up and I was like, oh my God, yes, I can be on.
That's how Amanda feels, because Amanda's always been at work too, and then I saw her comment, she's like, I'm not working, I can be on today. So I know there's work stuff and all that too, but I look forward to these. Like, I love communicating with you guys and connecting. And and if you want to be a part of the flash sale as well, I'll get that group up we'll get it together and going, and it'll just be quick. And we'll just post everything on Saturday and then leave it open for people to get committed by Monday. And then we'll do like a drawing on Monday night and everything. So, oh, well, have a good rest of your workout if you paused it. So sweet.
Yeah, my workout made me have contractions, just saying.
Oh my gosh. Well, Melissa, I'm still in my sports bra from this morning, so it's fine. Just threw on a cute jacket. Call it good.
Most of us live in workout clothes, Melissa.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad.
You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm only wearing jeans because I went to go drop off paperwork at Ashton School. I was in bright red pants and in this camo jacket. I was like, I think I need to go tone it down for a second. So I ran back upstairs.
We had wacky tacky day at school today, so I like ran home, changed, and I was like, okay, I can't show up like this. So I was like, no, it was terrible. I was like, nope.
Oh, that's so
Can't go out in public like this. So.
Yeah, we would.
You haven't seen our spirit weeks.
I have. I've seen some of them, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to hop on that. So.
We need to do a spirit week, actually. Speaking of that, maybe we need to do that like next week.
That would be so much fun. Yes. I want to do crazy hair day again because that was so much fun.
And actually, let's do it because I'm going to have my kids do it with me. First week of school, crazy spirit week, whatever.
Back to school spirit week.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
That would be so much fun. Yes.
And we can talk about that in our flash sale so people can know that that's coming. Yay. Okay. Well, I'll see you on Zoom tomorrow. We also have a virtual gym as well, open all the time. That's on Zoom. We're also not always just working out. A lot of times we're doing power hours and like working as well. So if you're ever around and want extra accountability, we're always really on Zoom. We kind of live on Zoom. I'm not going to speak for anyone else. I live on Zoom. It's fine. Everything's fine. You may see someone in boxers, but I try and mute my video as much as I can. So yeah, Talia's totally been on Zoom. I'm like, fudge. It's fine. So
I once came out of the shower in a towel and I was like, wait a minute, is the Zoom on? And I was like, oh my God, it is.
So
that's why I always, after a workout, I always just shut it off and then I'll come back on after that.
I do that too now. I'm like, anytime I leave my computer now, I just have to make sure.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Let's turn this off. All right, girls, we're on the hop off. You
Bye.
guys have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good night, guys.